Hi, welcome to Barvotti's 71st live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will be promotional offers during the program, and the promo codes will be active during the demonstration and for about half an hour after, or maybe an hour. The current time is 12 noon Central, April the 8th, 2022. Right now, the promotions are only available on Amazon.com. Is it finished?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I'm back. I just went to go and put my painting gloves on, and I hope I get them on at some point during the show. I'm looking for the 1 inch. Okay. Oops. Must have been this one. Pardon me, I just changed the background just as we were getting started, so some of my careful planning kind of went out the window. This is the picture that you just saw being made. I know it probably looks like it was blue, but it was actually green. For some reason, the color got changed in the video, but you'll see some of the same marks here, and well, they are exactly the same marks. It was made with this 2-inch mottler. I think it's the only tool I used on that. And you saw it about, I think this one was about 5 times the speed, or maybe only 2 or 3, it depends. So the marks that were being made were scraping through, marks like this, straight, like that, and scraping through. So very simple to get, quite an interesting design. Now I did it on freezer paper. And the reason I like freezer paper when I'm doing this is it gives me a very slick surface, and the paints that I use, which are a liquid acrylic, and then I have control over the depth and the darkness of the paints, and I don't have to fool around too much, and I don't have to worry too much about the quality. I'm not making a major piece of art here. I'm just demonstrating the use of the products as quickly as I can. And I'm talking about the use of the tools. And sometimes I end up with something like this that I really like, and I have to then digitize it if I want to keep it. So that's going to go into that digitizing bin. So this one, oops, is another thing that we've made. I'm trying to remember what I planned on saying. We didn't make this. That we saw this, or I saw it on Camtasia. They have a site where they show you all kinds of things. I got a little bit of green paint on the surface here, and I'm getting used to putting everything into plastic wrap because they get dirty on when I'm demonstrating on the same place. So there's a little bit of dirt there. But what I saw when I thought we can do this with these tools. And I'm just going to go just quickly through, this is what we saw, and the most recent one that we did with a tool is something like this, which is, I think, quite a lot better than this. This is fun. This has got much more movement, uses the paint much thicker, uses a very similar tool, and that's what we spent probably, we're still working on that tool, but we've used this particular, is it? My favorite tool is not there. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I did put it aside. So I took one of our mottlers, one of the big ones, and I cut little ridges, little holes in it. And this is like the third or fourth one that I had to try, because I had to go and see what would happen. But this is what we ended up with, and we've been doing a lot of work with this now. And one of the things I like about ours, which isn't here, is ours has a lot more movement, and we've got lots of gobs of gold in there. Then it's a lot of fun. So to me, this is like something you copy or you use as an inspiration. And this is where you might end up after playing with it for, well, now we've been playing with it for weeks online. I haven't got all of the things, but occasionally I go through all of the steps that we did. Okay, this is one we're going out with. And this is something that I wanted to start talking about, is like what I'm always asking as an artist who went to art school, so I got, a lot of art propaganda. The question I've always had, and even before and after I went to art school, well, what differentiates art from stuff that isn't art? A pretty picture, but I can tend to consider just about everything art. This one is called Scattered Thoughts. And so I named it after I made it. I looked at it and I said, what does this mean to me? I'm an abstract painter, so I often do all kinds of things. I have no idea what they're about. But when I look at them, I think, yeah, scattered thoughts. Okay. And I've named it, and it's going off to abstractartcanada.com this week, I hope. I'm very busy right now, so it'll be on that site. But this is not like really a positive name for it. Abstract. What's it called again? I show this all the time because we have a good thing showing, videotaping it, overlapping thoughts. I'm going to show you another one now because I'm not sure. For me, painting is not just about painting. It's about dealing with my thoughts and feelings during the day, and some of the things that I'm concerned about and think about. And when my first thought when I saw this was, this is dark. And so to me, this is a little bit like abstract thoughts, but I named it dementia. So who's going to buy a painting with that kind of name? I don't know. But for me, this is how I deal with, I wouldn't say I deal with negative emotions, but that's part of it. Everything is in, any subject is acceptable for art. So I named that one. Here's another one. There's 3 here that I did when I first got this very interesting tool, and it's my parallel line maker. Here, and we might deal with some of these today, because sometimes I make them and then I name them after, and sometimes I make them and I don't like them, and then I look at them a little while later and I name them after. So this one was made with the parallel line tool very shortly after I had made the parallel line tool, which is the first one, and you can see it's got, oh, wait a minute, this isn't the real one. This is the first one, sorry. And so you can see why me marketing art tools is something I'm very interested in. Art tools. So this one is not perfect. It's not the same on either side. I can look at any painting and tell myself, I can look at it and see if I've used it in there after. This other one that I showed you just a minute ago was much more regular. And I do use it occasionally, but I love this one, mostly because the lines are irregular. And so I was playing around with using this when I first got it. And at that time, I was using Yupo paper and tending to leave the edges open so it looked like it was on a mat. And so the name of this one, this isn't the first one. Oh, I'll go that way. The name of this one is Asylum. And I don't think I was thinking about asylum in the sense of, I was thinking about psychological asylum or that sort of thing.
Viewer Anthony says hi.
Hi, Anthony. Thank you for saying hi. I like to have the feeling that somebody's really listening to me. This one is probably the first one I realized that this might be a dark series, and I named this one because I made it and I thought, well, gee, I like it, but would anybody else? Did I sign it? I think my signature's on here somewhere. It is. I know I put it on there. Anyway, this one is called Dark Designs, and it's something that I do like. And I did another one in that short period of time. I used a lot of different colors on this one. And this one is called Reasonable Doubt. So these, I guess the reason I'm talking about this is because painting can be, you can do it when you're joyful, you can do it when you're unhappy. Your paintings can look unhappy, but they're still valid paintings. And you can enjoy, or can I say you can enjoy remembering about them? I'm not sure about some of these, but I like using paintings. I use paintings in all of those senses. So I want to just get started now and play with some of the tools. I will just quickly demo. Oh, I think you already saw all of them. This is the package that the, oh, I got a big ink mark on there. There it doesn't come in. It's eco-safe packaging. It's craft paper. This is the set of the large shapers. So these are 5 in a set. You saw them on the promo reel, and you can see there's 5 different ends. And if you look online on our website, you will notice that we have really good descriptions of them, much nicer than this one, and in much more depth. And you can use each one of these for different things, and I use them all the time. I try to keep these in this bag so that I don't muck them up when I want to show them to you. I do have some available here I'll use during the show. So those are those, and you've seen those are 1 centimeter ones. We have 7 millimeter, 3 millimeter. Sorry, I'm touching my hand out of the focus of the camera, and 4 millimeter ones. So we have various sizes of those sets, and I will be using them. If I remember, I tend to use the Mottlers more just because in my own life, I do paint large, and actually very large. Previn's going to just quickly show you my new studio. Have you got my studio picture available?
Just before that, James started following.
Oh, James?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome, James. I hope you enjoyed today. So will you show them my new studio and I'm looking for a pair of scissors. Yeah, so we live in, oh, look, what's that thing against the, oh, that's the door open. Oh, this is going to be my new, I just had it made in, I live in Mexico, so I had a local carpenter make me this beautiful easel. It's, I'm trying to think of the weight.
Counterbalance.
Pardon me? It's a counterbalanced, it's a counterbalanced easel, which means that I can move it up and down without unscrewing things or pushing things. I just grab the edge of the large canvas, and you see that large canvas is probably quite a lot. It's quite heavy. I've got several of those ready to go. But, and it's always been a problem for me. How do I paint this? Do I have to hang it on the wall? Do I get a cheap little easel that is going to fall down, etc.? But now I have a really good easel. And that's my new studio. It overlooks the Gulf of Mexico. We're very lucky to live here. And we're on the 2nd floor. So right now the breezes are blowing, but it's really too hot to work in there. It's about 33 degrees right now. So in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we hope to install some air conditioning. Luckily, we've got air conditioning in this room. So in the future, I may be painting on this. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't painted large for several years. And you can go back to the table, Preben.
Mhm.
Thanks. Oh, I keep referring to Preben and saying Preben and stuff like that. Sometime I'm going to get a picture of Preben or make Preben show himself. He's not in front of a camera, but Preben is my husband, and he's the one he's actually the director, because he's the one that says, you're talking, but there's nothing on the screen, so I have to move my hands over and say, and stuff like that. So, and I managed to get one glove on while we were going through that. I often don't wear gloves, and I think, oh goodness sakes, they are hard to get on. But when we get going, it does protect my hands a little bit, and I don't have, paint on my fingernails till the next show. So here we go. I'm just going to start because there's too much talking going on here right now. So that's just acrylic paint. Oops, I wasn't going to use that one today. Oops. Wow. I don't know if you saw that, but the top came off of it because I was refilling it and I didn't put the lid on. And I'm just going to take it out and show you what actually happened. Oh, I got it out as far as it'll go. I just spilt it down the edge of there, down the edge of the table, onto the floor and onto my foot. And I'm going to take a moment just to wipe it off the floor and my foot before I spread it. Oh boy. You could show something else. Show something else. I think. Yes. I didn't take the paint that I spilt on the board off, but I did get it off my foot and off the floor and off the table. So it's a shame because it's one of my favorite colors, and I do have lots of it. I just refilled another bottle with it, but somehow that ended up on my table, which basically means that I put it there. So I'm just putting a few gobs of paint here. And I'm going to run through it with tools to give you some idea of what kind of marks we can make. And I'm not going to pressure myself to make something that's, that I can sell. But let's just play with, am I focused there? I might just go in a little bit because this lovely red mark there, that's not supposed to be part of it. So I'm just going to go in. Okay, can I go up? No, I can go down. Oh, I may have to make it part of the composition. Let's see. What does it look like? Oh, it's okay. Okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this in this little marker, little what I call a parallel line maker, and I'm just going to draw it through here and let you see the paint's been on there for a few minutes because I had to wipe my feet off, and that's allowed it to stick to the top of the paper a little bit, which is kind of fun. And so that's what just drawing one of these tools through there can do. I'm going to now take something that's a little wider. Well, I can use exactly the same size. This is a 1 inch. And we're going to be probably a little bit short of 1 inches for a while because apparently the factory in China, which has an order in, has shut down because of COVID. So I encourage you to consider buying the 1.5 inch. We do have a lot of them, but we go through the 1 inches very quickly. So we're scrambling to get 1 inch ones back into whatever we have available back into the store. There's some there now, but okay. So that's This, once again, is a scrape through. Well, I can also use these to lay down paint. So if I'm laying it down here, and I'm going to, in between, I don't put it in water. I just have these damp face cloths that I got from Amazon, and I wash them regularly. Like, I don't leave paint on them or anything. And I clean them with that. So here's another, right here I'm just playing with laying it down and laying it down. Okay. And so I'm going to go through with, well, I just showed you that. Okay, I'm just going to stop talking. There's an expressive mark. So that's a mark you might make. It depends on how you're feeling. So a mark like that, for me, usually means that I'm kind of, maybe a little tense. And I can put the marks on like that when I'm not tense, so that doesn't mean I'm tense right now. So I'm just pulling through here, showing you what are the different things you can do. I'm going to take a big one now. This is the 3. Where's the 3? This is the 3-inch. And because I have so much red here, I'm just going to pull it through. And then I'm going to go. Now this stuff here, this little bit here, has probably mixed up to be almost a black. So I can use that for other things. So if I wanted to take it and make black marks somewhere, which I did do, and I could just go like that. And then if I wanted to, if it's early days, I can go through and make like little lighter parts in there too if I want to. So I'm scraping now. So there's a difference between scraping and putting down. Now if I wanted to, I could go like that. So I've made a little grid. And I have to admit that I'm an abstract painter, and ever since I started painting, and ever since I started doing any kind of art, like doodling and stuff, I've been fascinated by grids. So they're not in every piece, but they're sure in a lot of them. So now I'm making my signature flag move. That just means I've learned to make this wonderful move by doing 70 shows and having to demonstrate these paints. So that's my flag move. So if you see flag type things going across my paintings, that's it. That's it. So I'm going to grab a bit of this red that was sitting over on the side there, and just so I don't have it sitting over on the side there. Where will I put it? So I can. So by putting it in there, it sort of makes a very dark purple. And I could even keep going. So I'm laying down now. I'm laying down what started out to be red, but is now turning into very dark blue, because there was lots of blue on here before. And it's sort of like a triangle on edge. Not triangle, rectangle on edge. And I'm not thinking. I'm just doing what I feel like doing. So this is one of the marks that you can make with this. So you get a nice. It's like playing finger painting almost move, but then you can turn it into something a little bit more sophisticated by choosing maybe a different size would help. Okay, I could go like this. And go over it so that the whole thing doesn't look like it was made by a 5-year-old, but something made by. I'm very interested in children's art, and I often find the paintings of 5-year-olds very, very interesting, with lots of great ideas, because they paint without thinking that they can't paint. And so I think sometimes for adults who start painting when they're adults, well, if they start painting when they're adults, then they usually think they can paint. The ones who think they can't paint, and if you can talk them into trying, you can find that they often can paint very, very well. So what is interesting to me about what I'm doing right now is that I'm scraping through and I'm getting bits of the history of the painting. And with certain abstract painters, you can just be fascinated by looking at their painting and say, oh, I wonder what they did first. I wonder what they put on last. So you can see, I'm going to go in a little bit here. I'm going to zoom in and show you these are almost like artifacts of a previous, well, they're artifacts of an underpainting, but they're also artifacts of a previous time because they were put under, they were put first, they were there before. And so it's probably not visually the greatest painting because I didn't put any yellow in there. I'm tempted to put yellow in right now just because I don't know why, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to put a little.
Can you zoom out?
I'm going to put a little zoom out. Thank you, Preben. He saves me all the time. Oops. I'm having trouble zooming out. There. So if the reason I have the finger cut off the glove is because I have to touch the surface of my iPhone, which is set about 1.5 feet above. I have to touch the surface of my iPhone in order to zoom in and out or focus in and out. So I'm going to just push a focus thing here. And when I'm talking about things behind, there's my finger. Okay. Like I'm talking about this kind of stuff under. Oh, I just put those red things on top too, didn't I? So there's like 3 levels. There's this background, then there's this level beside it, and then I scrape through that level, and then I put the red on top. So I'm just going to keep putting a little bit more of that red in there. Just, there, I've got some over there. I just steal it from other places. So this is just an example of how much you can play and have fun with this. I'm going to go through here too. So you could spend hours just saying, I'm going to just see what I can do with these, and I'm going to take this off now. And I'm going to put it somewhere where no one will step on it. Okay, there. So now I am going to do remember the Yupo ones that this is the Yupo paper. And Yupo paper is archival. Let's just straighten it. I have a nice little, I could straighten it this way by straightening my board. Okay. It's archival. That means that it can go in any art show or museum or whatever. It will not change. It's a special plastic paper that's been available probably for 20 years. Was originally made and still made, most of it. If it's called Yupo, it's probably made in Japan. And it has wonderful qualities. And one of the ones that I like about it is it's very smooth. And it also comes in different levels of semi-transparent papers and stuff like that. And I like using it because it's a great grounding for these type of liquid paints that I like to use. And now I'm going to just, where did I do that? I'm looking for my favorite toothy one. Remember I told you about that. And I showed you these types of things here. And I'm thinking I'll just do one of those and with my toothy one because I haven't done one. This is April, and the last one I did was in November, I believe. So I just want to see if I can still do it or if things have changed. So a trick is not to put too much paint on. I love this Indian yellow. Ooh, it's nice and thick. Now this, I have no idea what color this is going to make. The one that I named, this is the one I named. dark designs. It started out with 3 different colors that turned gray. And I kind of thought, well, I'm going to throw this out. But then I started to, when I saw it the next day, I liked the colors and I thought they looked all right together. So I've got orange, a turquoise green. I think I'm going to put my favorite. Oh, is that my thing? Oh, that's phthalo blue. I want to put this is my favorite, or one of my favorites. My favorite often tends to be the one I'm currently working with. So I've got these new tops on these, and I guess I should actually practice squirting them somewhere else first before they explode. I haven't used, just a sec. Oops. Let's figure out where to use this. Oh. Sorry. I'm trying to squirt it out so it comes out nice the way it's supposed to, but it's not. No, I'm just going to put some of it down anyway. So I'm experimenting with a new lid. Oops, there it went. It squirted sideways out over the whole thing. So I'm still going to leave the edge like that. But what I'm going to do, and you notice that it's bright blue. I'm going to do is just show you one of the nice things about Yupo paper, because you probably wouldn't realize that. The other thing about Yupo paper, if your hands are clean, is that you can clean it off so that it's not like a watercolor paper. It's not ruined forever. So, oops. You can also spread it around. So it's cleanable for about quite a while if you want to, if you've made a mistake like that. I'm not really too worried about those mistakes. I'm doing this more for demonstration purposes for you to know about Yupo paper. Okay, so here we are. We've got no red here, but do we need a red? Let's just see. There's a bit of red in that orange, but wait till you see what color that orange is. I'm going to go through the orange first, just so you can see how beautiful it is. See, when you push it in, it's a different kind of yellow. So the mass tone of that orange is very very orangey, but when you push through it, ooh. The colors are great. I don't think we need red. Look at that green. Ooh. I think I might call this one Plant My Garden. I've been sitting on the verge of planting my garden for months. And down here I can't have a regular garden. I have to have a garden that can be in the shade and that I can control the amount of sun it gets, and absolutely have to control the amount of water it gets. And every one of those have been a bit of a struggle. So as I'm painting this, I know that the name of this is going to be Paint My Garden. Oh, I don't like that thing up there. So I'm going to just continue on and break that one. So even though I'm just making a bunch of noodly lines here, I am actually looking at it and saying, do I like it now? Do I like it now? Can I quit now? Can I quit now? And I just couldn't quit with that big black, dark one line at the top there. So I hope I haven't ruined it by continuing too long, and I'm going to stop. Ooh. No. When can I quit? I'm going out the door. Okay. And that's it. So that is Plant My Garden. And you saw how it was made, the colors, and how my feeling about what it was about, because I really didn't know what it was about until it started mixing, that it was about the garden that I've been wanting for so long, so long. I really like to eat my own fresh vegetables and stuff like that. So, okay, let's do another one. Oopsie daisies. Oh, they're stuck together. Oh, we could do an experiment. We could try one that I've prepared. It's got this line drawing underneath. I just thought, well, maybe I'll try one with it. See what happens if I do that. So I will try not to use my favorite tool again, even though I'm cleaning it. Let's see, I'm going to put it away. So if I give it this quick wipe now, it's actually ready for the next show. And it's got a fair amount of yellow on the cloth, so I have to put the cloth in the pail. And you can see what my hands would be like if I had been, you know. Okay, let's just do that. What colors? Well, I really didn't get to use that blue that I smeared all over, that I like so much. So I'm going to put a bit of it in. Oops, it's coming out the side. So did I learn something on that? Wow, I got to get new tops for these, obviously. So I think we'll put some red in this time. Oh, this is the red that let's put it in. Okay. If I put in yellow, there's going to be green in here. And I am going to put a bit of this yellow in. There'll be green and orange. Okay. I've never done one like this, so you're in on one of my experiments. It probably will go out to the edge, but I might be able to make it be one. I love this color that I'm going to spread right now. And let's see. Ooh. So that is its mass tone. It almost looks black. And the undertone, it's a mixture of phthalo blue. Ooh, look at that. It's a mixture of phthalo blue and phthalo green. And all of these right now, I'm just using scrape through colors. And what happens to be on my brush is tending to become very, very green. So this could end up being one of my green paintings. And people who've watched me knows that if I put green and yellow on the yellow and blue on the surface, I often end up with a green painting, which is okay. There, I'm gonna wipe that off. So I have these mounds of paint all across here. I have no idea what the paint colors are. I can tell most of them are probably green, but we can play with them and see what they are. I think I see a bit of red here. Ooh, so got a lovely brown patch. And I'm gonna make some marks through that. Make it, it is brown. It is brown. Look at it. Got a brown patch there. Okay. And guess what is underneath? It's still like that. So, what's this color here? Oh, I think it might be green. Let's put it over here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I don't know whether the underpaint, the under drawing is, you know, really contributing to this or can contribute. Ooh, I like that. Can contribute to it. But this is like, you're watching a truly experimental painting here because I haven't done this before. And it might be something I might try on a very large painting. And ooh, yeah. Let's see, what does it look? Oh, I'm sort of off on the side here. I can move it over this way. Oops. Is that better? And these are the gobs that were a problem before. The blue ones, so maybe I'll just put them in somewhere. Ooh, that's a dark blue. So where I am now is I'm thinking, yeah, okay, that's fine. Ooh, but what about making some more marks? Okay, let's just see. Kind of boring. Okay, maybe we can do this. Do this. So the surface marks are competing now with the background marks a bit. So, and the background marks were just black. And I normally don't put black in a painting. But I just had some black left over. So let's just see. We now have a surface of mud. And looks very much like that painting. I forget which one it was. I think it was called Restore or something like that, or Reclaim. I think it was called Reclaim because it had to be reclaimed. Okay, let's do this. Just to be consistent, we'll do all the things like that. We'll be right over the whole thing. I'm still leaving the edge, but I might change my mind. Okay, let's take that off there. See? And now I'm going to be just going to try one of my new probably too regular. I'm going to use it anyway. I'm just going to go like this. So let's see if I can do anything else with it. Ooh, ooh. I'll play X's nose with it. So I feel like a lot of the paint here should come off. And maybe I can take it off better with something else. I'm open to suggestions about what we might call this, if anybody has an idea. Garden in the dark, or if it deserves a name. Let's see if we can try some of these other wonderful tools here. I'm looking for here it is. This is a shaper, and it's a little bit narrower than my 1 inch, so I can use it to clean up things or to define things. So do I want to pull through to the other side? That's the other thing. I could always call it the other side because we're sneaking a peek through this grid at the other side. The far side, maybe? No. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I'm finished there. I want to wipe a few things off the edge because I think it would look better without the little splotchies on the side. Unfortunately, all my beautiful rags have decided to knot themselves together, so they're not. I may have to use one with a little bit of soap on it. That's gone. That's gone. And so I guess, in actuality, though I seem like I want to paint without being, what do you call it? Constrained or under constraints. When I look at it and think I might market it, I have to think, I think about these little things about, are there marks in the wrong places and stuff like that. Now there is a little mark on here that still bothers me, but I can get it off when it's dry, and that's that little tiny mark right there. And probably what I'll do with this one, because I actually surprised myself and ended up liking it, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to wait till it's a little drier, and then I'm going to inscribe my name with a little piece of metal, so that it'll probably just be my initial. So where will I put this one? In another place. Okay. So what else have we done? Going to just I think I'll show you some pictures of my dog that I've been working on, just to show you how, if you're not a painter of I hope I put my dog pictures all in the same spot. Did I? Yeah. Okay. Here's the original picture. I'm trying to find out where I put my other one. Her name was Iris. Iris isn't with us anymore. And I'm just going to go in and have a look at her. So you can see she's very fuzzy, and she's got a lot of hair, and she's quite beautiful. And actually, I don't have the piece of paper that showed why I got interested in painting Iris. I'm just going to demonstrate that right now, because I sometimes pack my stuff up before I need to. So I'm just going to use a little bit of, where is it? I'm looking for my dark black. Oh, I don't have it. Payne's gray. Payne's gray, purple. I'm going to use a very nice blue instead, just to show you. Oops, that's enough. Just to show you why I got, and when you look at Iris, what you might have noticed is that she has a lot of hair. And so I'm just going to spread a little bit of this blue, and you can pretend it's black, because I wasn't looking for black, but I was looking for a very dark color. This is a pretty dark color. I'm just going to go out a bit, so it might look a little more darker for you. And what I discovered is that when you take these things and flick them like that, they look like hair. See how beautiful they look like dog's hairs? Even if they're blue, they look like dog hairs. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, I bet I could paint my dog. And so I've started a series now of, none of the paintings are finished yet, but I will show them to you. And so you can see just making that mark is a lot of fun. And so if you had a little dog in there with little dog eyes and little dog ears, and a little dog nose. You could see it would pretty soon look like a very fuzzy, hairy dog. And so that's kind of where I got the idea. The idea came from the way I was using the tool, and once I realized I could do that, I thought, wow, I bet I could do a lot of dogs and cats this way. And there's a big market for painting people's dogs. Not that I'm into that, but I am into certainly painting my own dog. So that's Iris. Where did I put those? That's Iris number 1. And then I made it a bigger piece. That's Iris number, that's her picture on, what should I say? Well, it's just I just made it bigger so it was the same size as what I wanted to do. Then I turned it over and I covered it with, I think it was oil, an oil-based paint, or it was a crayon. You could use a white crayon or a gray crayon. And then I turned it back over like this. And I took a dark pen and I found out where her eyes were. That's like, if you want to get an animal right, you want to get the eyes in the right place, the ears in the right place, and the nose in the right place. So some people might think that's cheating. I don't. I think using the computer is like 100, it saves, well, it means that your dog's going to look like your dog, not somebody else's dog or some supernatural dog. So I scraped in where the eyes and the ears and all that stuff would go, left out the things I didn't want, like her collar, and made sure I had that little fleck of white that's in that eye that just you can't see it here right now, but I could probably zoom into that eye. See that little fleck of white there? That's what gives her eye some warmth. So that's that. But this is the first picture. This was done in about 10 minutes. I got to go out a little bit. Oh, Iris. But you can see I'm using those flecky marks. So that's the first painting. Painting numero uno. This is about a 10-minute painting. And as far as I'm concerned, it's done. It's allowed me to figure out what I have to do next. Now I'm going to show you another one. Oops, I'll have to stand in front of the phone thing, and it's a bigger version of it. It's still not a finished painting, but it'll give you an idea of, but this is about a 20-minute painting. You got me here, Previn? Oops, there's Iris. So she's starting to look like a real dog. I've sort of thrown in the background and stuff like that. I've got her little fleck in her eye. I've had enough time this time to mix the colors of paints, and I'm definitely using a lot of these little fleck marks in that fleck tool. So that's my darling Iris. And the last one is a little dark because I decided to make it a little bit like a what do you call them? Black velvet painting. I haven't quite finished her eyes here, and you can see I'm still using all of the little the tools, and I think I have to go back and practice more because I think on my practice sheet I was much better than I am here. I think one of the things I did is I should have put the paint down, which is a little bit concerning when you're working on a black surface because you don't want big globs of stuff. You notice I do have her white, the little white mark in her eye. I haven't finished the details around her eye, but just the whole business of, flicking it out. You can see it up here. You can see it up in the top. I'm doing that. So I'm thinking if you had a picture of a pet you really liked, a photograph, you could take a picture of it, get it the size, find a piece of something you want to paint her on or him on, and then you make the dog the size you want and print it out, or the dog or the cat or the mouse or whatever, and print it out. Put some sort of, you could use dressmakers paper, but it actually is just as easy for you to cover the back with some waxy or oily thing, turn it over to the thing that you want to do it on. Make sure it's a different color so that, like, so you wouldn't want to put white on white here. You would put you'd put a black crayon on there if you're doing it on a white paper. So, and then you just push through with a dark pen. So you got the drawing. Once you got the drawing, then you can come in and start painting using these tools to make the little flicky marks and that sort of thing. So this has been great fun, and it's one of the things I'm going to keep adapting is I'll probably do other pets. If you've got a particular pet that you might be interested, you could send me a picture. I don't know whether I'll do that one. I think my daughter's going to send me a picture of Patricia, her gray cat, but she probably won't do it until she sees how well Iris turns out. But oh, just to give you an idea, I should have told you this. For the big picture I showed you, oops, this is the size. Since I was doing a big picture, this was the size and the detail that I did for it. And I had dressmaker's tracing paper, or just regular carbon paper would work quite well behind it too. But most important here was I got the eyes in the right place, the nose in the right place. And the other thing when you start painting realistically, well, because I don't that often, you want to put the darks in first and then you move out onto the lights, and or have some sort of a way of doing that, and that helps it to come alive much closer, so quicker. So Iris actually has a very dark area around her eyes here, and she's quite dark along the nose. Her nose is almost black. Here's her picture. Her nose is almost black, so I painted this area in first. Her ears, so I paint that in, and then I put the white highlights in after, and then sort of when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of the level of darkness of each of the painting things. We will go through this probably many times, many iterations with different animals, I hope, in the future, because I think it can be a very satisfying thing to paint your loved ones. And honestly, I painted my husband once, and he wasn't very happy about it, I don't think. But Iris would not have cared how she looked like as long as her picture was on the wall. So, how are we doing? We're just about done? Yes.
Yeah.
Was that not a very nice thing to say? Ha ha ha, he says, okay. So, it's true, I don't think you like that painting at all. Okay. I don't think it was necessarily the best painting either. Thank you for joining us today. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central to do demonstrations, answer your questions, talk about art, because I'd like to hear people's ideas about art and what is art and what isn't. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Have a great weekend.